Kohalo, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Rachachodash. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Starlink is coming to Hawaiian Airlines in a bid to try and fix in-flight Wi-Fi. SpaceX is starting to make deals with airlines to provide its Starlink satellite internet to sky travelers everywhere. It announced a deal on Monday with Hawaiian Airlines and last week made a similar deal with charter carrier JSX. None of the involved parties shared the financial details of their deals, but both airlines did say they are planning to offer the in-flight Wi-Fi for free, which is both a semi-miraculous fact and a sign of hope that free Wi-Fi is becoming the industry standard. Delta, meanwhile, confirmed last week that it is running exploratory Starlink tests. All right, now this goes into detail, but this is just the main gist of why this epistle needs to be released. And we know that there's no such thing as free. You've heard this saying in the world, if the product is free, you're the product. All right, now we're going to also take this in a different direction as well. So we're going to get semantics. All right, semantics demonstrates vividly how sound influences matter and molecular structure. So I'm just going to keep it real simple. We know that things have vibrations on them. We know this. The names have vibrations on them. That's why when people call upon false gods, there's no power. But when you call upon Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, there's power to that. So it's the same thing with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi has vibration. Just because you can't see oxygen doesn't mean it's not there. Just because you can't see Wi-Fi, it doesn't mean it's not there. It carries vibrations on it. Esau Edom knows this. You just look up semantics. There we go. Going back to that Greek bullshit. Wave. Wi-Fi, waves. We know this shit is real. So the fact that they're testing Starlink, this is all leading up to the RFID microchip. It's all being taken place subtly. A little bit of here, a little bit of there. Then it becomes industry standard. And that's when things start kicking it up a notch. Not only are they cooking us just by having these Wi-Fi in our so-called homes, they're gonna try to cook you everywhere, man. That's why it's humorous on Yahweh Shemashai's part that he's going to use ICBMs, the nukes, because we live in a nuclear world, and it's fitting that that Babylon is gonna get nuked. It's like everything is leading up to the RFID chip, which will climax with Yahweh Shai HaMashiach making his return with the chariots, the angels, as the ICBMs, the nuclear detonation is just going off. As the elect views it from from the fathership, from the glass floors, man. So going back to the original article, Wi-Fi becoming a standard, that's just another tool that Esau's going to weaponize to kill the people. And it's funny because it's so subtle. So let's get the scripts. This is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh B'Shem power had made. The serpent isn't talking about a snake that was on the floor that had the ability to talk. That's some fairy tale shit. The serpent was an actual man, but he was known as a serpent because he had wisdom of the right-hand side and the left-hand side. Because as Elder Apostle Kabar brings out, in order to tell a lie, you must know the truth. Which is just math if you think about it, common sense math. Now the serpent was more subtle. All right, just simple, just breaking down the root word. Sub means going under. So he was able to subvert, go under. He went under. That's why when people say I overstand things, how can you, Benjamin says that my eyes over. I can't do the accent, but yo, how can you overstand? You have to have a foundation. You have to go. You have to have. You have to understand. So in a sense, Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, this was his physical counterpart. This was the progenitor of Esau, Edom, the biblical Edomites, as we know today in modern terms, as the so-called white man. And that's how they do it. Going back to this article, they do things subtly. They're not just going to announce, and every single airline is now going to offer Starlink. It's testing the waters, dipping your hand in to see if it's the right temperature or not. Esau, Edom is just doing what they're programmed to do, what we know that they're programmed to do. Because what do you think the Starlink is going to link up with? The RFID microchip. How do you think you're going to be able to have access to all your records no matter where you are? They got to put satellites in the air. They got to have the shit on airplanes and subway stations, wherever people would be or can be. That's why it lines up with Job 9 and 24. You know what I'm saying? The world is given unto the hands of the wicked. The world, man. It didn't say half the world or a quarter of the world. It said the world. All right, we're going to go to Isaiah 14 and 14 because it's like, okay, so why? So here we go. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. So in other words, Esau, Edom wants to be like Yahweh Bashim Mashai. In fact, they want to be Yahweh Bashim Mashai, which is impossible, which is not going to happen. And because, and only someone that's proud with everything like that. That's why Esau, Edom is going to be destroyed because of their pride. I will be like the Most High. God damn, how can you be like when you're? Why is Ash proud, as it is written in the Apocrypha? That's Esau Edom's thinking. And it's funny because there are clouds in this picture, and the aeroplane has to go above the clouds in a sense. All right, so it's funny, but they really are only doing what they're programmed to do. So we just got to keep following this because Esau, Edom is subtle, and they throw their little plans out in all sorts of avenues of wherever you can get info, right? They'll throw it in Fox News, but you got to scroll down. Or they'll throw it in a video game, and you got to record the video. You know what I mean? Like, Esau, Edom is so true to their name. They really are likened unto a serpent on the left-hand side. Okay, so with that, I hope y'all were edified. Shalom.